Damon Hill exits the last corner, crosses the grid, comes up alongside his pits and takes the checkered flag to win the San Marino Grand Prix at Ferrari's home track and take his 4th victory from 5 races. And look at Schumacher's right front wheel locked up as he comes across the line to finish in 2nd place. He wouldn't have taken on another lap, no doubt at all about that. Don't know what the problem is, but Schumacher finishes 2nd. And we wait now for Gerhard Berger to come through. Schumacher stops immediately. Off comes the steering wheel. You get a look at that very special helmet of his, which is aerodynamically designed to help air flow through the air box. And Damon Hill has won the San Marino Grand Prix. There is Gerhard Berger finishing in 3rd place for Benetton and for Renault. So Renault engines 1st and 3rd. In 4th position will be Eddie Irvine, and the fans break ranks. Of course, this is a temptation that they can't resist. There's Irvine finishing in 4th position, and it's too much for Italy for a Ferrari to be stationary on a track where they can get at it, not to do exactly that. Very much against the rules, of course, but nothing will stop a Tifosi, including about a 20-foot high wire fence, as you can see for yourselves. A brilliant victory for Damon Hill, who's now increased his World Championship points to 43. Terrific.
Well, we said these cars are designed to do 200 miles and little more before they wear out, and that looks to be very much the case with Michael Schumacher's Ferrari. The right front wheel locked. Maybe a brake problem, that's the most likely thing. Perhaps the brakes on that Ferrari completely worn out and maybe seized on the right-hand side. It could even be a suspension problem. Let's have another look now. We're with Schumacher. This will have been the last lap. We're looking at that right front wheel. And there it is. It's a suspension. That looks to me like a suspension problem. I don't know whether that is a brake problem, but Schumacher the wheel is clearly locked, but it may not be the brakes itself. You can see the smoke pouring off, and he's very, very lucky to finish that race ahead of Gerhard Berger. He finished 30 seconds ahead. He's been extremely fortunate. He just squeezed across the line there to take 2nd place. He just squeezed across the line in qualifying to take pole position before the left rear suspension failed on the Ferrari. There's obviously a lot of work to do on reliability, but they expected that. There's no doubt about it.
Confirmation then that the San Marino Grand Prix was won by Damon Hill, 16.5 seconds clear of Michael Schumacher and 47 seconds clear of 3rd place Gerhard Berger. Williams Renault leads, Ferrari 2nd, Benetton Renault 3rd. The 2nd Ferrari of Eddie Irvine takes 4th position, and that's the 3rd time that Eddie Irvine has finished in the points for Ferrari in 5 races this season. Rubens Barrichello in the points again for Jordan, as he has already been twice this year in five races. Jorna Lacey lucky to finish 6th as a result of other people's misfortunes, to be honest, and nevertheless he gets a World Championship point. And Michael Schumacher is doing a lap of honour, having been picked up by one of the course cars. I don't think the Tifosi quite realise what's happening. They wouldn't expect to see Michael Schumacher out of the side of an Alfa Romeo. And here we are with Damon Hill coming through to see, I think, the checkered flag coming out. I presume this is a replay of him finishing. Indeed it is. Out goes the fist of victory. He comes right up alongside the pit wall and his jubilant mechanics. There's the checkered flag. 16.5 seconds ahead of the Ferrari. Berger 3rd, Irvine 4th, Barrichello 5th, Alesi 6th, and just to give you the rest of the runners, Pedro Diniz finished in 7th position, and that is most certainly the highest he's finished by 1 place. He was 8th in Brazil. Mika Häkkinen retires, but he will get 8th place. I think Pedro Lamy, or notwithstanding the fact that he's 2 laps down, will have finished 9th. Badar will finish last, 4 laps down in 10th position, and all the others retire. That is to say Villeneuve, Panis, Katayama, Coulthard, Rosset, Verstappen, Brundle, Frentzen, Fisichella, Herbert and Mika Salo. Well, Eddie Irvine getting the plaudits of the crowd as Michael Schumacher. He's He's a humorous young man, and he sees the best of every situation, and he didn't really expect to start in pole position, he said yesterday. In his heart of hearts, he certainly didn't expect to win this race, but my goodness, he certainly tried. And down in the pit lane, Jacques Villeneuve with Tony Jardine.
Tell us what happened. You got hit very early on, and then you got up to 6, and now this problem putting you out.
Yeah, at the start I was on the outside of Jean Alesi into turn 1, and somehow we banged wheels. Then in the next corner, the right-hander, I was in front of him, and he banged his front wheel against my rear, and probably his wing touched my tire or something, and you know, that just that was just a blown tire. Then we were hanging in there, and we were doing some good laps. The car was running strong, and you know, it's too bad for the Williams Renault team, because we were going to get a good result, but the rear right suspension broke.
Oh dear, but you're looking forward to Monte Carlo?
Yeah, definitely. We were having a strong weekend here until those couple of problems, and hopefully we can do something different in Monaco.
Thanks, Jacques.
Well, that was Villeneuve. Now let's have another look at the start and see how David Coulthard scored.
Second back on the left, the red and white McLaren there, watching the lights all go out. That's the new start sequence, not the greens coming on. Schumacher doesn't make a great start. Villeneuve spots the gap, too much wheel spin. Lacey looks up the inside, but look for the shadow, the red and white of the McLaren coming out from the his right, our left, as David Coulthard again gets it all right. Hill and Schumacher neck and neck as they go by. The pack all very close together. Now this is when Coulthard's got clear track in front of him. He can keep the acceleration going all the way. Lacey has to lift off a little bit. Then we can see Villeneuve. Look at Villeneuve on the left. There, wheel tyre smoke there, and it looks like that's the Irvine's Ferrari there locking up. But the key thing is David Coulthard's got ahead, and there's the incident. Look, there it is. That's Lacey around the outside of Jacques Villeneuve, and the end plate, you can see the Williams now start to slew around. The end plate is the vertical fin on the edge of these front wings, and in fact they've been thickened this year by regulation to about an inch thick and rounded off to try and prevent just that sort of incident happening, because before they had a sharp edge and the sort of puncture that we can see the consequences of there as Villeneuve falls back in the field. That used to happen a great deal, and the idea was that these larger, thicker end plates wouldn't happen. And there's Villeneuve on the gravel. Of course, his left front, left rear tyre punctured, and without a great deal of control.
It's very easy to criticise drivers when you weren't in the cockpit yourself, but one has to say that Alesi has had his share of incidents this year. His job, of course, is to get past the car in front, but he has done a lot of driving into it instead of past it in 1996. Out onto the podium, the winner, Damon Hill. In the light blue overalls on the right, Austria's Gerhard Berger, who has an enormous following here. Practically every banner on the grandstand carries a message to Gerhard Berger. In the background, behind Damon Hill, Dickie Stanford, who is the Williams team manager. And where is Michael Schumacher? The answer is, of course, he's still probably making his way round in that course car. And if he tries to get through this crowd and they realise who it is, he hasn't got a hope of making it, because he is certainly not only the hero of Germany after last weekend, but the hero of Italy after this weekend and having taken pole position. So it looks as though we are actually going to wait for Schumacher, so it gives me time to tell you that Damon Hill now leads Jacques Villeneuve, his teammate in the World Championship, by a massive 21 points. Schumacher is in third place, having closed the gap a bit because he is 6 points behind Villeneuve. And there is Michael Schumacher from Kerpen in Germany. And there's no doubt about who the crowd favour is. It's the red Ferraris of just one. Just one anthem for Damon Hill and for Williams, the winning constructors. I was saying that Michael Schumacher is closed up a bit as a result of those 6 points. He's now 6 points behind Jacques Villeneuve in the championship. Schumacher third, Villeneuve is in second place. Jean Alesi drops back from equal third to fourth, 5 points behind Michael Schumacher, and then there's a long gap to Eddie Irvine and a tie between Rubens Barrichello and Gerhard Berger. The fans will know Germano Bellini, and they will know that Schumacher is getting his trophy for second position from their man. And look at them. There's an enormous crowd here. They came in hope and expectation of a Ferrari win. But to be fair to Schumacher, he didn't really expect it. He said all along that they're just making steady progress, and if he can get points, he will be more than satisfied. He's 27 points behind Damon Hill now, with 4 wins out of 5 races this year, and 5 wins out of the last 6 races, because let us not forget that Damon Hill won the last Australian Grand Prix to be held at Adelaide at the end of 1995. Damon Hill is giving the lie, and very much so, to the people who have said that he, in their opinion, is not a top driver. Very, very wrong. Across the line, replay of Damon Hill. Another 10 points in the bag. But David Coulthard led this race for a long time, a tremendous return to form. Let's find out what happened to him, because he's with Tony Jardine.
Coulthard really hard luck, an absolutely blistering start from you. You led the San Marino Grand Prix, then things went wrong. Tell us what happened.
Well, quite right. You know, I made a great start, and it was fantastic to lead a Grand Prix again. But you know, everything was going well in the first set of tyres. Second set of tyres not quite as well balanced, and I started to get a little problem with the gear change. When I came into my last stop, I stalled the car, and I didn't know why at that time, but I found out afterwards I had some hydraulic pressure problems, and eventually that stopped the gearbox working, so a non-finish, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, but tremendous encouragement for you, McLaren and Mercedes.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic for the team, and I think it shows the hard work that's gone in from, as you say, Mercedes and of course from McLaren, and that really gives everyone a big boost and make them realise that all the hard work is worth it.
Do you need this new car at Monte Carlo?
Oh, I think you know, we need everything we can. We still have some work to do to be as quick as Williams, but slowly but surely we're getting there.
Nice to be running ahead of Schumacher.
It's fantastic. It felt so good, and I say it was nice to lead a Grand Prix, and I think that's where I'm meant to be.
Thanks very much. We look forward to the next race.
Thank you.
And I delightedly eat humble pie for even thinking that it might have been an engine problem that stopped David Coulthard. My humble apologies to Mercedes for letting the thought cross my mind. Gearbox problem was what took him out, hydraulic pressure. So a lot of people have got a lot to be very proud about after the San Marino Grand Prix. Some have got 1 or 2 things that they need to think about very carefully, and there's a lot of mechanical work to be done by a good few of the teams. But Williams-Renault is not one of them, because Jacques Villeneuve's problem was nothing to do with the car, the engine or the gearbox. The problem was the coming together with Jean Alesi, and he was still in the points, having been last when he had to retire. And Damon Hill won. Schumacher with Ferrari finishes second, and they can be very happy with today, with Eddie Irvine in 4th place. Consolation for Benetton is the fact that Gerhard Berger finished 3rd. Good race for Jordan, with Barrichello in the points again, and Benetton, of course, just get that extra point from Jean Alesi, with the fastest lap of the race going to Damon Hill on his 49th lap before his second tyre and fuel stop, 1 minute 28.9 seconds. And there's a lot of very happy people here at Imola, breaking ranks, pouring into the pit lane immediately beneath me before they make their way home, having seen an excellent race and another excellent win for Damon Hill. They won't be as happy as they might have been, but they're sporting fans, and the fact that they've seen their beloved Ferrari do as well as they did to finish 2nd and 4th will be very considerable consolation for them.
Very pleased about winning here. because I had a hiccup in Germany, but I'm now back on winning form again. And the tactics in the race were perfect, and I had a very good strategy, and thanks to the Williams team for working that well, and the pit stops were brilliant too.
Can you tell us a bit more about the strategy, because you didn't make your first stop until halfway through the race?
Yeah, we took a view on what the best route was and calculated it, I think, very well.
Were you happy with the start? Did you expect to come out of the first corner in the lead, possibly?
No, as long as I made a good start, I was happy with that, and I made a good start enough to stay ahead of Michael, but David made another fantastic start and he was in the lead, and that sort of made things a little bit interesting. But I'm just delighted, you know, it's such a terrific race to do well in. Imola is a superb place to race because of the crowd, the fantastic turnout, and it's great.
Michael, a lucky finish. We saw you crossing the line with your right front wheel locked up. What happened, do you know?
Yeah, good question. I don't know what happened. Probably something in the front wheel has broken, the bearing or the wheel itself. That happened after Aqua Minerale into the chicane, and I just had 3 wheels left to finish with. I was quite worried because I was thinking I had to go another full lap. I was very lucky and happy that race was finished when I crossed the line, so it wasn't too bad. I just made it. But it was quite interesting.
Gerhard, your first time on the podium for Benetton. We last saw you in Hungary last year. You must be delighted to be back.
Yeah, quite happy about it, I have to say. No, I'm struggling this year. It's not going so well as I want, but at the same time also there wasn't much luck on my side this year, so both things together was just not too much, and so this race was quite good. I didn't have problems. I was I had a bit problems with some traffic going into the pits and on the pit stop, but generally I was quite happy. And no
we saw that you stopped after crossing the finish line as well. Did you have a problem, or?
No, I stopped because all the spectators jumped in, and I know from the bus here he's better to go away.
Damon, Monaco, you expressed last year that you had a great desire to win at Monaco. What can we expect this year?
I think Monaco is going to be another close battle, but I make no secret of the fact I'd really love to win in Monaco. It's just one of those events which are a highlight on anyone's CV, so